call this Jack Ritter. Yeah, kind of makes you feel like Three's Company a little bit. Hey, I got a question for you guys. Why do mountains make people laugh? Any idea?
No idea.
Because they're hill areas. Hill areas.
That's your dad joke for the day.
I got another one. You ready?
Probably not.
Which mountain is idle all the time? I don't know why I ended up with mountain themes today, but I did.
Sleeping Ute Mountain near the border of...
Oh, that's a good
Arizona
one. That would be a good answer, but it's actually Mount Everest. Everest.
Ah.
So we have, first and foremost, a guest host today in Mr. Dr. Check-Eye, Mike Mucker. You want to say hi?
Hello there.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great as always.
What's new?
Good to be here. Good to be here with Matt Nelson.
And we have Matt Nelson. Matt, you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Matt Nelson. I'm the executive director of the Arizona Trail Association, and I'm so excited to be on the podcast.
And you've been the executive director for the Arizona Trail Association since 2012. Is
Something
that right?
like that. 11 years and 3 months, but who's counting?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I think we'll just get started. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about, like, what is the Arizona Trail?
Ooh. So if you've ever been to Arizona, it's a magical, diverse landscape. Now imagine a trail going through all of those amazing areas, like canyons and deserts and forests and mountains near some communities, rivers and springs and parks. And so that's the Arizona Trail, an 800-mile trail from Mexico to Utah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like you've given that definition before,
No.
because that's like the best definition I've ever heard.
It's free form every time. Free form every time.
And who's allowed to use the Arizona Trail?
Well, it's a public resource, which is wonderful. You don't need a permit to get out on it. It's mostly open to all forms of non-motorized recreation, right?
Okay.
So hiking, running, backpacking, pedestrian style, mountain biking, which is amazing, and then equestrian.
And are all sections of the trail open to all those type of users?
What a great question. No. The Arizona Trail goes through 8 designated wilderness areas
Right.
in different parts of the state. Those are closed to mountain biking and wheelbarrows and, what are the things you fly in called? Hang glider.
Hang gliders?
So designated wilderness is closed to things like that. Like mechanized recreation is not allowed in wilderness.
Okay.
So there are some segments that bikes can't go into, but we've worked to find the most scenic routes to get away from the wilderness areas. And sometimes that's through new trail construction or existing roads or trails. But we see a lot of people that are on the Arizona Trail either doing it all at once, like maybe just on foot, or a combo over time, which a lot of us do.
Right.
Hike this part, bike this part, ride a mule on this part, pogo stick this part,
Is someone actually pogo stick the Arizona Trail?
Yeah, an extreme pogo team.
Are you serious?
No, not
Okay.
at all. That was an April. What was that? It was an April 1st spoof in an email once talking about like this. Yeah, the South Korean professional, off-road
team?
pogo team,
Off-road pogo team.
Extreme pogo. It's called Extreme Pogo.
Extreme pogo. Okay.
And they were going to do the entire. They were going to do the entire Arizona Trail, extreme pogo style.
Yeah. Is there such thing as the South Korean off-road
Not that
extreme
I'm aware
pogo
of.
team?
There is now. There is now.
Oh, that's great.
So non-motorized recreation. So no motos.
Yeah. So no motos. And just to get this out of the way, we talked about this beforehand. So that means no e-bikes, because e-bikes have a motor.
Correct. Electric motorized bicycles or e-bikes are, low battery powered. I love e-bikes. They're wonderful. And they have a place on lots of trails and trail systems.
Yeah.
But the Arizona Trail is one of only 11 trails in America that's designated a National Scenic Trail. And that takes a congressional designation. If you know anything about Congress or politics, do you know what it takes to get Congress to agree on something?
I do know a little bit about what it takes
good.
Congress to agree. But were you part of that to get them to designate that as a...
No, that happened in 2009.
Okay,
it was
right
a
on.
4 or 5 year build up to get that designation, but eventually became a National Scenic Trail. So like Appalachian Trail, Pacific Crest Trail, Continental Divide, Arizona, Florida. There's only 11 of these really special trails in America, and they're all designated as non-motorized. So e-bikes are not allowed on the Arizona Trail for that very reason.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah. Hey, so tell me about the Arizona Trail Association.
Nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
Our mission is to protect, maintain, enhance, promote, and sustain the Arizona Trail as a unique encounter with the natural environment.
Okay.
That's the mission statement. But what we really do is we provide a pathway for transformative experiences.
Ooh, wow.
It's the underground mission statement.
Underground mission statement. So help me with that transformative experience. And Mike, jump in here anytime, brother.
Well, actually,
it sounds like you got a talker. And
this is actually the perfect segue to Mike, because when we talk about transformative experiences, they're all completely and totally unique. All of our experiences in nature are completely unique to us. And so trying to, provide those experiences for others, I think, I'm not going to say it's a waste of time, but it's much better to just provide the pathway.
Okay.
For people to go and have those experiences. And that's what makes the Arizona Trail so special and wonderful. Mike, I would love to hear from you, an Arizona Trail experience or an Arizona Trail moment, or what does the trail mean to you?
Well, one of the reasons we moved to where we did and bought the house where we did is the Arizona Trail was out our door.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was back in 2009, 2010.
Right.
And I guess first rode the Pistol Hill section in 2005 or 6 when it was first open.
Yep.
We were visiting in Tucson, and Sonoran Desert Mountain bicyclists invited me along for a ride, and I said, "This is incredible," and when we looked all over Tucson,
yeah,
and when we look for houses, that's with a mountain bike on your roof. Do the nearest ride near the place,
100%,
and that's how you pick a house, right?
Yes,
and so with the Arizona Trail being there, that was one of the key reasons. I mean, I've been doing for 10 years. I do my annual birthday ride, and that birthday ride is on the Arizona Trail. I can ride anywhere in Tucson, and there's a lot of incredible mountain biking in Tucson. I can take people on 20 different rides, but I choose the Arizona Trail.
Yeah.
And I'm a bike ambassador for SDMB, and I was just out today, and I ran into another 6 through hikers over the past. 2-3 weeks, I've probably ran into 50 or 60. And I talk to everybody. I don't ride with Strava. I don't ride with earbuds. I stop, say, "Hey, what do you think?"
He does talk to everybody.
I do.
I can tell you for sure.
And
we were joking earlier that we don't recognize Mike without a helmet. Like, he walked up and I'm like, all right. He says when he sees people, he kind of does this little thing with his hands, and okay, that's what you actually look like.
Yeah, but the through hikers say, "What do you think?" People are blown away. They said the diversity of this is amazing, and they really are only so far. I don't want to say only, but from Mexico to the Pistol Hill section or that section says, well, that's great. And wait, you got a lot. Way to go through the Grand Canyon. Way to go up the Flagstaff. I said, wait till you see the Rincons and the Catalinas. And, but yeah, I wanted to be involved, when I found out about the Arizona Trail. Mark Flint had I met Mark because he had a booth at the 24, I believe it was. And the Arizona Trail Association had one. I talked to Mark, and Mark found out my history of trail building and trail advocacy and everything else, and got me involved. And
we had Mark on. I'll put a link to his in the show notes.
Yeah,
his show.
That's a good one. That's the first time that I was aware that you had a podcast.
That we existed.
Mark Flint, the Mark
That's
Flint
good.
episode.
Yeah, it's so interesting as we bring on all these different diverse guests. We open up like a whole bunch of different audiences, and
my 11 followers are going to love this.
Yeah.
all 11 of your followers.
They're not bots either. Verified 11.
Perfect.
Well, but mine preceded Mark's, but he chose to ignore it. So, but I'm not surprised. But yeah, I try to help out when there's trail maintenance days, and my buddy Scott Leonard is one of the trail stewards, and I help with his section of trail, and I just think it's amazing. And just if you near Vail here, from the Hope Camp Trail to the Forest Service Gate, and then the section from there to Kentucky Camp and Patagonia, it's just it's incredible. And to hear people who aren't from here that are through hikers, I mean, these people are sincerely just in awe.
Now's the time too. As I'm out on the trail, there's a lot of people that have taken off, to get through. This is the season for that. I want to make you feel good. Mm-hmm. Your episode is the single best performing episode we've ever had. Mark's is number 2. Mm-hmm. But Dane from Guru Bikes is catching up with you guys really fast, and I think he's going to overtake you.
That's because he has Facebook, and I don't do any social media to promote myself.
That is exactly because he has Facebook, right?
We're going to set you up. TikTok, though. I think we're going to get Mike Mucker a TikTok video channel.
Oh, that would
Don't
be
you
good.
think?
Yeah, I've got one of those security clearances. We don't mess with TikTok at all, but we can get you on Instagram Reels or something like that, for sure. Hey, so ArizonaTrail.org is where
aztrail.org.
aztrail.org.
Yeah.
And there is a donate box.
Hell
up there.
yes, there is.
And I went and updated my membership today.
Thank you very much.
Did a $50 donation, yearly donation, so I get my members. I think it's a couple months lapse, so I don't know. I owe you a beer or something.
We forgive you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Recommend anyone in the local area, or even if you're not in the local area, to go in and donate. Couple questions. What does the typical? So you talk about your mission statement. What does a typical week look like for Matt Nelson and the Arizona Trail Association?
Well, I'm one of many. I'm one of many in this wonderful organization. What Mike just described, like ambassadors, trail stewards, a couple hundred of those, volunteers, a couple thousand of those, trail users, tens of thousands of those, and then board members, who participate at various levels, and then a staff of about 20.
Okay.
Spread out statewide. People do different things. So every week is completely and totally different, which is why I think I've been excited and stimulated in this job now for like over 11 years, because it's something always happening. Trail operations. So we're, building trail in this section, maintaining trail over here, hosting a volunteer event. We have a training that's going on this weekend down in the Santa Rita. It's a Trail Skills Institute to teach people kind of the art and science of trail construction and maintenance.
Right.
Special events, fundraising events out at a trailhead, grants and agreements, and like you name it. There's always something going on. A youth program, a veterans program. We do it all.
We had Jody on, and she was telling us about Grow, Girl, Grow.
Very good. Grow, Girl, Grow.
And actually, my niece, who's in that 4th to 8th grade age group, and she's just starting out as a mountain biker. She signed up with Jody, and she had her first or second event on Monday with her.
Oh, great.
And she's loving it. So it's pretty special what Jody's doing.
Agreed.
Actually.
Yeah, we really do believe that the trail itself is wonderful. Encouraging people to get out there is kind of the next step. That's how you sustain a resource for the long term, is just help people fall in love with it, like Mike has, And what we're seeing is that the demographic of people using the trail is constantly changing and diversifying, which is wonderful. And unless we're investing in youth to get them out there, help them fall in love with it, teach them how to care for it, then all the hard work we're doing now for, a generation could be like really all for nothing. The sustainability of these resources exists in children. And so I think us investing in kids to get them stoked on the Arizona Trail is a really important part of our mission.
Wow, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so any new exciting news related to the trail? Any new sections?
Every day.
Like
Every day
yeah. So what's the current events?
The big one that'll be finished this year, which I don't know if anybody's talked about yet, is this Temporal Gulch Reroute project. And that's down by Patagonia, so about an hour south of where we are right now.
Okay.
50 miles from the border, 50 trail miles from the border is this cute little town of Patagonia. It's like the perfect trail town. You got the coffee shop, you got the delicious gourmet pizza, you got the cantina, you got a place to stay, you got lumber, Patagonia Lumber Company, which is like really good coffee and beer and live music. And it's got all the elements, but the Arizona Trail on both sides of Patagonia sucks. It's the worst piece of trail in the whole state.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like incredibly steep and all blown out and hike a bike, and then a highway, a really narrow highway that you get to share with like giant mining trucks, 50 of them a day back and forth.
Right.
And then you cross the big highway, and then you ride up through a neighborhood past barking dogs and houses, and then up this long dirt climb forever and ever, and then you hit a wilderness boundary. So then you actually got to turn around and go back down that to get on the highway to ride up to Gardner Canyon where it gets good again. It's terrible. So what we've done is we've designed what ends up being a 32-mile reroute.
Okay.
So you go from single track and you stay on single track through the Canelo Hills and duck under the highway through a big culvert, so you never even have to dismount, and then ride this beautiful new single track up through the foothills of the Santa Rita Mountains, just outside the wilderness boundary. So it's open to mountain bikes.
Right.
And then you drop into like Gardner Canyon and Kentucky Camp.
Wow. Okay. So part of that is already completed.
Correct.
Because
We've been working on it for 3 years.
Because I keep hearing people tell me, you got to go down and check it out. You got to go down and check it out. You got to go down and check it out. And I had no idea what they were talking about. I was like, I've been down there and it wasn't good.
It's terrible.
What the hell are you talking about? But wow,
it's about to get really good.
So how close are you to being done?
little less than 3 miles of the 32 miles that we have left to build. So we might be able to do that before summer hits, but more, maybe in the fall. Either way, it'll be done this year. Awesome. And it's about a year ahead of schedule, which is really pretty amazing.
So do you guys have a trail building crew? Is it volunteers or do you hire out people?
All of the above. It's like an all hands on deck thing. Like, Mike has been a trail steward and a trail constructor. That's how I got involved many years ago. Okay. Found the trail and then built that segment out by Pistol Hill with groups of like inner city kids from Tucson. But lots of volunteers, paid contractors with machines, like a mini excavator and things like that. Conservation corps, which are like young people, teens and 20s who live in camp for 8 days at a time doing trail construction in like remote areas. We have a veterans crew, a bunch of local vets, recently returned combat vets that get together, go camp out for a long weekend and build trail. It's like, it's an all hands on deck.
You got everything. You're just tapping into every possible resource you can to get folks out there to help you. Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah. So when it's done, it'll be single track outside wilderness through one of the most beautiful parts of the Santa Rita foothills and the Canelo Hills that nobody's ever really been in because it's surrounded on most sides by private property. So you don't have access to the forest, even though it's public land. So this trail actually provides access to this massive part of the range that you couldn't get into before.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you, wow, that must have been tough then to get that worked out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's really been, it's been a focused effort, of mine and the organization for about 10 years. But even long before then, it was part of the plan. Eventually, somehow we got to avoid this highway and town and all this other stuff. So yeah, it took all the right elements like falling into place and lots of motivated people to make it happen. But that's how the trail got built 30 years ago. I mean, we started building trail around that time, mostly designated it. Right?
Yeah.
Because in the early days, you look at a map of the state of Arizona. When I say early days, I'm talking like 1980, so not that long ago.
Right.
But the people whose vision this was looked at a map of the state and said, where's their existing trail between Mexico and Utah? Okay, let's designate that and then link it together with dirt roads. And wherever there's big gaps, let's build trail. And it took almost 30 years to build those little segments to link it all together. So now that it's complete, we're just making it better, getting it off roads, stuff like I just talked about.
Right. Have you been down there yet, Mike, to Reddit?
You know what? We've been trying to plan on it. In fact, I got a map from Matt about a 25-mile way to do it as a loop. You kind of climb up a dirt road section to get on a single track. People who have done it have been blown away. They love it. So Neil Stitzer, who was on your show, Neil and I have plans that we're going to go there and plan it around music at Patagonia Lumber Company and make a day of it. So we'll do that loop down there. But I'm excited about it because that's a section of the Arizona Trail I really never wanted to have anything to do with before, and all the other sections of the Arizona Trail I love. So
it's high quality stuff, and I think as we do these projects, and it increases the the value. I feel like, and that can be defined any number of ways, but of the trail and the trail experience for day users, for long distance trail users, things like that. The other project I'll mention is a rainwater collector. We put one in 2019 in a really remote area where there's no reliable water source, no creeks, springs, seeps, no road access, and there's about a 21-mile section where it's completely dry and completely hot and exposed. And so a little bit dangerous because a lot of people can't cover that mileage in a day. So we constructed a rainwater collector years ago and I've studied it on the ground. And I'm not going to say it was flawless, but we got it really right the first time.
Right on.
And then we developed it more over the past couple of years. So a second one is going in just a few days. In Pinal County, so north of Oracle before you get to the Gila River, big, long, dry sections of like a low desert. So we'll be building a giant steel rainwater collector out there.
So talk to me about how that works. So does it store the water like underground?
No, imagine like a 2,000-gallon poly tank surrounded on all sides by like steel panels,
right?
And then a giant upside down umbrella, also made of steel, that catches the water and funnels it down into that poly tank. And so it's not underground, but it's protected on all sides by steel panels. So it is but it's just not buried in the ground. You know what I'm saying?
So it helps from the heat, like during the day.
Exactly.
And then is there chlorine or anything you put in?
Not at all. No, we don't mess with that at all. I mean, rainwater is essentially distilled, right? So it's very, very clean. The only contamination you need to worry about is what's on that steel panel.
Right.
But steel panels, untreated steel in the Arizona sun, I don't care what is on it.
It's going to die.
Yeah, it's going to die. So the water, and we tested that water from the original rainwater collector for years, each season, to look at water quality, and the water quality was fantastic. So we recommend people treat it however they want to treat it.
Yep.
But the reality is it might be the cleanest water source in the whole state.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
So simple technology, big one-time investment. But like, think about this. If you were completely dehydrated in the middle of the desert and
you drink anything,
how much would you pay?
Right.
How much would you pay for like a sparkling glass of like fresh water?
Yeah.
And then times 100 people or 1,000 people or tens of thousands of people. So this,
Do you have like the donation thing right there?
We should. It's on public land, so we can't really be doing that. But my hope is that it will save lives, literally. And I know that it will.
It probably has.
It probably already has.
Wow. That's so interesting.
Other trail systems don't deal with these issues. We certainly do.
Yeah, we've got in the desert, we've got these unique issues. Okay, so another question I have for you, other than the area you just kind of highlighted for Patagonia, from a mountain biking perspective, because we are a bike centric podcast here.
Oh yeah.
What are the segments of the Arizona Trail, maybe not used as much, that are kind of like the hidden gems that we should all be planning trips to?
Okay. There are two that leap out at me. One is in the area that I was just describing, where the original rainwater collector is. We call it the Gila River Canyons.
Okay.
The cool kids call it Picket Post to Kelvin, because that's the point-to-point Picket Post Trailhead, which is outside of Superior, Arizona.
Okay.
And then almost 40 miles later, you end up in the town of Kelvin, right by the Gila River. It's 40 miles. It's really hard to do in a day. It has been done. It can be done, but plan on like sunrise to after sunset for the ride. But it's incredible. Like it feels like riding your bike in a national park and nobody else is there, with the biggest views, the most impressive cliffs, wildlife, wildflowers. Like we found bear scat when we were doing, along the Gila River. So imagine you're at 1,600 feet surrounded by saguaros and cactus.
Way low to find bear scat.
Yeah.
Right?
It's phenomenal.
Okay, so that's one. What's the second one?
Second one,
Gila River Canyon. Yep.
Yeah, is the Kaibab Plateau. So north of Grand Canyon National Park, there's about a 60-mile segment of trail that's right around 8,000 or 9,000 feet the whole time, gently, losing elevation down toward the Utah border.
So it's just downhill the whole time, basically.
I'm not downhill the whole time. On a map from a distance or an elevation graph, you could say,
looks like it, but
yeah.
But if you're actually
There is
doing
no
it,
such thing as downhill. But I think the Kaibab Plateau is really special, and nobody goes up there. Right now, it's buried under 20 feet of snow. But by July, I think it'll be really primo. And if it's not on fire, then it's worth going up there to ride. But fall, it's like
hopefully the
ultimate
snow this
fall
year.
Yeah,
Hopefully the snow this year will help us out from a fire perspective.
Yeah. But yeah, aspen trees changing color, and then you have these views of the East Rim. So Grand Canyon's got North Rim, South Rim, and East Rim. And the Arizona Trail goes by the East Rim. So you can look down into the wilderness area in these beautiful colors and look out over the Navajo Nation and be on single track on your mountain bike. So it feels like you're poaching a national park, but it's actually all legit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Well, you can combine go up there for a couple of days and ride the Rainbow Rim Trail, ride the Arizona Trail up there.
Absolutely. Those are the gems.
And you can put it together. And Neil Stitzer told me, Mike, you go up there, I got a great ride for you. You can connect all that, and it's 148 miles. Yeah. and Neil's serious. He'd do it in one day. Yeah. And I'm thinking that's
Kaibab Monster Cross. The cool kids. You can look that up. The Kaibab Monster Cross. I tried that once, but bailed on the last section of the trail. It was too long of a day. I was weak.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. I got a whole bunch of other questions here.
I got a question for you, or is that going to just derail the whole?
No, please, just bring it.
So why me? Why'd you invite me? Because I heard some of the folks that have been on the show before. So why me?
Why you? Okay, yeah. Really simply, we effectively set this up just to have conversations with anybody that likes to ride bikes. That's it. And we didn't want to duplicate what's out there today, where it's a whole bunch of conversations, a lot of times with racers or with companies.
Yeah.
We kind of wanted to get more down to like a little bit lower level and focus on what typical like recreational riders can experience, things we thought would be valuable to them. The racing is interesting, but to the average mountain biker, it's not like the pro racers. Like we're not in that. So, the mechanics, the bike shops, some interesting new brands that are starting up. We're talking with folks that are building the trails, maintaining the trails, trying to educate our listeners on how they can be better stewards of the trail, not necessarily like a trail steward, but how they can treat the trail better, take care of the trail better, how they can volunteer, whether it's their time or their money, to make it a better environment, and then just have a good time.
All right.
Right on. So you fit that.
It sounds like my people.
You fit that bill, man.
People.
So, I think one of the things we're struggling with is, we get one of the things we have to figure out, right, is that our audience is growing outside of Arizona, and our discussions have been focused in Arizona. So we were excited to have you because you bring a perspective that's like a draw bigger than just Tucson, right? Because you were looking at the entire state, and like you said, there's only 11 of these national wilderness trails.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we wanted to talk to.
Good. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah. We heard you were a cool guy too. That also helped.
I don't know who said that.
Are there any threats to the Arizona Trail right now?
Yeah, always. I think the trail itself is more than the tread, right? So when we think about trail, it's funny, and I've done this as an exercise with a large group of people before, like define what a trail is.
Yep.
And I don't even say for you, what does a trail mean? I just say define trail. Like what is trail? The number of answers are quite different. So you can do that right now, listening to this podcast. Like how would you define the word trail? So Arizona Trail Association, we're only focused on one trail that's 800 miles long, but it's not just the tread. It's not a foot and a half wide.
Right.
It's the people. It's these communities. It's the entire forests. It's the BLM lands. It's threatened and endangered species that are out there. It's the corridor. It's the experience. It's all of these things. So protecting and maintaining that, kind of a tall order, right? And there are always threats, I feel like, and some are extrinsic, some are intrinsic. But the big ones that we've seen over and over and over and over again that are most threatening all of the resources as a whole are like the general impacts of climate change, right? So like extreme weather events, extreme heat, big time wildfires, and then flooding that happens after them. And so, how do we deal with that? Ooh, yeah. We got the volunteer thing kind of dialed in. We get kids, we can work with kids, but wow. So how do you tackle something that big? That's probably the biggest threat. And it's something that we talk about often. Like we really do want this resource to be sustained well into the future.
Right.
So how do we address the big stuff and worry about the little stuff later?
I mean, does that come down to like good trail maintenance, good trail design that can handle erosion and deal with the corridor, have enough corridor to deal with the fires and all that kind of such?
That's a big part of it. And then supporting, efforts that are beyond what we can do, forest thinning efforts, things like that, community resiliency. It's just like, it's huge and heavy. So it's a lot more fun to focus on like going for a bike ride and doing trail maintenance and things like that. But I think those are the biggest threats. But beyond that, no, I think having a congressional designation and that protection as a National Scenic Trail is a big protective blanket that helps it. So when projects and things come along, they really have to consider the impacts to this nationally significant resource.
Now, every year as our congressmen and women change out, does that impact you and your funding stream and how that works? And what's the local delegation? I mean, how are things right now for you?
Well, one of the things that makes this job so easy within the political sphere, because I do get to do a fair amount of politicking, which I don't enjoy, doesn't come naturally. I hear I'm good at it.
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on you don't enjoy it.
I don't, but I can convince you and any elected representative that that I do. But one of the things I love about interacting with them and this part of the job is that everybody loves the trail. Almost everybody loves public lands, and people love the Arizona Trail. Maybe it's because it's generating a bunch of income to rural communities. Maybe it's because we play nice with ranchers. Maybe it's because, who knows? But everybody loves the trail. In fact, when it became designated as a National Scenic Trail, the two biggest supporters of it in Congress were John McCain and Raul Grijalva.
Oh, okay. So that's two ends of the spectrum.
What if those dudes ever agreed on anything?
But they agreed on the Arizona Trail.
They both love the Arizona Trail. So I'm like, wow, this is going to be easy. It's not easy, but yeah, I think I'm not going to say there's strong bipartisan support, but there is. People love the trail. So
I've always told my employees, if you want to make everyone happy, go sell ice cream. I guess it's go sell ice cream or work for the Arizona Trail Association. Gotta add a second thing there. So, are there any? So other than climate change, are there any major threats? Maybe more. I guess climate change. We don't want to get into an argument whether that's human caused, but are there any like man-made closer to the actual trail systems itself that are threatening you right now that you're dealing with?
No, not really. No, I know. Yeah, it's amazing. There's all these could be's, some days, got to keep an eye on this. I know there's any number of things, but no, for the most part, I feel like it does. It has a strong protective layer. Yeah.
Are there any other prospective wilderness trails from other states that you're working with right now to coach or guide or help?
Yeah, that's a great question. Every year people come up with these great ideas for a new trail system.
Yeah.
And if they want to go big, then they want to either become a national scenic trail like ours or a national historic trail like the Juan Bautista de Anza Trail, the Old Spanish Trail, the Pony Express Trail. There's now 21 of these national historic trails, but there's got to be a strong historical component where, a number of people, indigenous or after them, followed this pathway.
Right.
And that's what this is. Whereas Arizona Trail is more of like a scenic experience, mountains, canyons, forests, that kind of thing. And so we've heard about some new historic trails coming on, and they were just designated recently, including one in Arizona, the Butterfield Overland Trail. But really, I haven't heard anything about new national scenic trails.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, to our folks around the country, man up, I guess.
It's hard. It's a long haul.
It's a long haul.
And you got to have like a lot of infrastructure in place. That's how we got designated in 2009, because the Arizona Trail Association had been working on building this trail for whatever it was at the time, 14 or 15 years. There was already an organization. There was funding coming in. There was lots of volunteers, and the trail was almost done. Like, it became a national scenic trail in 2009, and it got finished in 2011. So it was like 99% done. And then that designation just helped kind of, get the construction over the finish line. So,
all right. So I'm a recreational user. I'm either a mountain biker or equestrian or hiker, and I want to help out some way. What's the best way for me to do that? What's the most impactful way? And then what are my options?
Yeah. There's three. I think there's probably 3,000, but there's three that I can think of. The first is get out there and use it and fall in love with it. So direct experience, go play on the Arizona Trail, get a map, ride, hike, however you want to experience it, fall in love with this resource, and then get involved as a volunteer or a member donor. Those are the most important things you can do. And every once in a while, we'll reach out and say, hey, here's an important piece of legislation that's happening at the state level or it's happening at the national level. You should comment on this because it's going to benefit the trail. The more people that use it and fall in love with it, the more stewards we'll have, the more donors we'll have. And then really, as funding comes and goes and organizations come and go and all these things happen, as long as there's enough people who love this trail and care for it, I think that therein lies its sustainability.
Okay, so I have a kind of crazy question. Is there any way I could help out the Arizona Trail by drinking beer?
Yes. Oh my God, that's a great idea. There are a number of companies in the state that have partnered up with us that said, every time we sell this, we're going to give you a percentage of that sale because we love the trail. And that partnership first started in Pine, Arizona, right in the middle of the state with that brewery. And we came up with this idea in the brewery of something called Arizona Trail Ale.
Right on.
Ooh, right? Sounds good. Something delicious. Something in a can so you can carry it in your pack. Something that tastes pretty good warm in case it's in your pack for a while, And so their master brewer, Steve Morgan, came up with this amazing ESB, recipe for Arizona Trail Ale. And a percentage of every beer ever sold comes back to the ATA.
Awesome.
So they single-handedly fund major trail construction projects in the Mogollon Rim country.
So where can I buy that beer?
It's available everywhere.
Okay.
I mean, relatively speaking.
But
I see it everywhere. I see it everywhere that sells really good beer, and it's local,
Yeah, right on.
But they have a brewery in Cottonwood.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Arizona Wilderness Brewing, which are friends of ours up in Gilbert, Arizona, are just about ready to release a non-alcoholic beer for those of you that stop drinking or you care for your health, or maybe it's just, you got to wake up in the morning or something.
Yep.
And it's called Arizona. The N-A is non-alcoholic. And this beer will be available pretty soon. And same story, we get a percentage of every beer ever sold. So you can just raise a glass to the trail and help fund, really literally help fund the great work that we do.
What is your biggest pet peeve of trail users? You're a real positive guy.
I've never been asked this question.
I'm going to keep trying to ask negative questions because you're such a positive guy. I'm going to catch you somewhere.
That's my blood type. I found out.
Is that what it is?
My blood type is B positive. Of course it is. Anyway, pet peeve. Pet peeve would be, I guess, and I don't get to interact with this, often enough, but like when there is a sense of entitlement, an entitlement that this is my trail and, just that kind of like attitude, which again, I don't encounter that often. I do hear it does exist, especially within certain communities or user groups or things like that. But I think, that'd be the only pet peeve is people that feel like it's their trail.
Entitlement.
But guess what?
It is.
It is.
But it's all of ours too.
Yeah, thank you.
It's everybody's trail.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I can, because I use a trail a lot. I mean, I don't know, 3 days a week minimum.
Heavy user. Dude,
yeah.
This is what happens when you don't work anymore.
Yeah.
You get to ride all the time.
Yeah. So, 3 of my 6 rides a week can involve the Arizona Trail, local trails.
Why you got to dig the knife on the 6 ride comment, Mike? Come on, man.
That's good.
So I would say that every user needs to learn more trail etiquette. In other words, if a mountain biker is going uphill, they have the right of way compared to the mountain biker downhill doesn't. All mountain bikers should know that they need to yield to all other users. They need to yield to equestrians and hikers.
Yep.
And one of the big problems that I've noticed, and it's mountain bikers and it's hikers, and it's actually more hikers, is people wearing earbuds and having them so loud they can't hear you.
Can I change my vote?
Is that one of your
because
earbuds.
Yeah,
earbuds?
Yeah.
Oh, here's the,
No,
okay, I want you to finish,
I've got to the point. I was already, because I don't want to scare anyone. I consider myself, a good trail ambassador, and I go up behind a hiker. I'm ringing my bell. I'm shouting. I almost had to like tap him on the shoulder. Okay, and finally they take the earbuds out. Like what? How can you not be aware of your surroundings? I mean, there are other people on the trails, whether they're hikers, whether whatever.
Yeah,
you have to be around there. Plus, how do you miss nature? You're not going to hear hawks. You're not going to. And what I've decided to do.
Rattlesnakes.
What I've decided to do when I come up to a hiker like that and they pull the ears and they said, "What?" I said, "Did you see that quote up rattlesnake you just stepped over? I'm surprised you didn't hear him. He was rattling really loud."
You're trying to just give him a little shock to the system. There's a jaguar behind you.
That's good education. That's a great technique.
Yeah, no. It's just one of those things that we should have respect for one another.
Yeah.
In other words, I appreciate we all have our rights and freedoms, and like someone's, like I tell people, your right and freedom to throw your fist ends 1 millimeter from my nose. So if you exercising your right and freedom on the trail is endangering my safety, now you're imposing on the safety of other trail users. And there's kids out there, and there's, you want to be aware.
Yeah.
So I would say if I had to pick something,
it'd be that.
It would be the folks that are not aware of.
Can I change my vote? Can I change my vote?
You sure can.
I thought it was going to be earbuds. No, it's the external speaker.
That's what I was just going to ask. What's worse? And we actually have a whole podcast on this topic.
Oh, okay.
Please don't listen to that episode.
Oh, God. I love music more than anybody I know. I've dedicated my life to it. It's the whole other side of my life is music, studying music, listening to it, playing it, all of it.
Yep.
And my life is filled with music. When I'm outdoors, I'm listening to nature. I'm listening for hawks. I'm listening for other trail users. I'm absorbing with all of my senses this nature immersion experience, right? I hate the earbuds, but what I hate even more is the external speaker. Because do I really want to be listening to what you want to be listening to? 99.9% of the time, the answer is no.
Guys, I'm feeling like super guilty right now. I got to admit just to both you. So I'm guilty of both these things. I'm guilty
That's
of
why
the
we're here today.
earbuds.
We're here to talk to you.
Guilty of the external. So Mike, we do an early morning ride at like 5 a.m. And we use an external speaker when we're out there. We don't run into anyone else, but we use an external speaker. Every once in a while we run into, I can't remember his name, but it's the Vail school superintendent.
Oh, yeah.
You probably
Cal
know.
Baker.
Yeah. Every once in a while he comes and laps us like 4 times because that guy's a machine. And he gives us some dirty looks. Once in a while, Chris Croto will pass us from RVBS and he'll just shake his head. Yeah, but we're guilty, so I'll own that, and I'll take your feedback into consideration as I move forward.
We
can evolve.
Yeah,
we can evolve. But I got to be honest with you, I'm guilty.
I really think that's why God, Buddha, Allah, whoever made me little and skinny, because I would take your speaker and just smash it all over the trail. I would break it with a rock. Okay, but I'm kind of a pacifist, so I don't think I'd do that, even if I wasn't.
Even if you felt that way, you wouldn't act on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the pet peeves, and I don't have to go far to break out with the frustration. I don't have to ask a bunch of other bad questions because we already got it. Interesting question for you. So I have messed around with ways to get involved to support the mountain biking community ever since I started riding.
Excellent.
And so, and they've gone through different iterations. We had a mountain bike team called the Snoring Pirates, where we focused on bringing new riders into the scene, and we brought hundreds and hundreds of riders into the scene. We had a company called Audio Cyclists, where we did we wrote our own music, and we put that out there in the world. You can actually Google it on iTunes if you're ever interested. There's one workout that's still on there that's big in Japan. By big in Japan, I mean we sell 3 albums a year, so it's huge. Super great.
Nobody sells albums anymore, so
right, yeah, it's on iTunes. And then we've been mucking around with this Mountain Cock podcast, same kind of thing.
Yeah, I resemble that remark.
You do. Mucking. But one of the other things that I've wanted to do for a while is host some race events. And I went over where I live, which is Colossal Cave area, and I put together a race loop that utilizes part of the Arizona Trail.
Yeah.
So how would I go about making that a reality for the Arizona part of the trail, for the Arizona Trail section of that?
Yeah. So it basically comes down to who's the land manager for the area that surrounds the trail.
Okay.
And statewide, there's so many different land managers, 4 different forests, 11 different ranger districts, 3 counties, cities, BLM land park, National Monument Memorial, private, the list goes on and on and on. So depending on what the layer is underneath the trail, those are the people that you talk to be like, here's my idea. And I can help you with that.
So that was my question. So if there's other people like me.
Just reach out to the
Can you help with the Rosetta Stone?
For sure. Easy. I mean, not easy, but easy. We host 5 events annually on the Arizona Trail. It's a benefit for the organization. Trail running, mountain biking, ultra events in this area. You've probably heard of them. We do one in December, a 50-miler, a 50K, and a half marathon. And then in a couple weeks, we do a marathon, half marathon, 10K on the Arizona Trail, just south of here. So permitting, insurance, all that fun stuff. It's all possible.
It's all possible, all doable.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I want to do a 12-hour race is my idea, and then base it there at the ranch down there, have the camp there, and I've got it all kind of sketched out about an 11-mile course, uses the Arizona Trail, and then goes back into some of the horse trails that they have. So it'll be interesting.
There you go. I'm happy to help.
Awesome. Mike, what am I missing, brother? Co-host.
Well, I think one more pet peeve we should talk about.
You opened the can.
I knew I shouldn't have let him do it. We were so positive for the first 40 minutes here.
You know what?
And another thing.
I think reminding people to stay off wet trails. And there's some trails I think people assume they're in Arizona, that the trail's made of concrete, that they're not going to have an impact on it. And I believe I like all trail users. I really do. But when you have equestrians riding immediately after a rain, I've seen the Arizona Trail from Pistol Hill. The Rincon Creek looks like somebody took a post hole digger down it.
It's serious. Yeah.
And it's serious stuff. And I don't want to pick on one user group. It's
because it doesn't really matter. Any user group can do damage to the trail.
I mean, really, but a hiker and a bicyclist, a guy on a 30-pound bike that weighs whatever, is not going to have the impact of 1,500 pounds to 2,000 pounds. And it's just a fact of life.
Metal shoes.
So that's bad, because once that impression is made on the trail, it's like concrete.
It takes a long time to
and really the only way I've found is wait till it dries just a little bit, but still damp, and ride your mountain bike over and over it. And what it does, it'll roll it back in like a little roller,
or a jackhammer and a plate compactor.
There you go.
I mean, we do that. jackhammers and plate compactors to mitigate damage, like that. It's a huge pain. It's lots of resources.
So I just think people should be aware and be aware. I mean, in any local, I know we're talking about, nationwide.
Yeah, this is any trail.
This is just Tucson. Where I was from in the east, it was a lot worse actually on the type of soil.
Of the water,
because of the soil,
the loam.
It was the soil. You had the loamy soil. But there's places like here, like Robles Pass, that you pretty much are good. It's all rock.
Solid rock.
Yeah.
Solid rock.
But there's other places like parts of Fantasy and parts of the Arizona Trail near Pistol Hill that people just need to say, you know what? Let me take a hike. Let me do something different today.
We've definitely talked about this before on this podcast, but I think I don't want to focus on equestrian riders or anything like that. But just no matter what, if you're hiking, if you're riding a bike, if you're riding a horse, you can do damage to the trail if it's wet. So make sure that you're not damaging the trail with however you're using it.
Correct. Just a little reminder. I wanted to sneak in there since we were talking about things.
I've had to make that call before. Like, it's the best weather ever, and you go out for a ride and it rains.
Yeah,
and then it keeps raining and it gets worse, and then you know when it's really wet and you're carving a deep channel into the trail. That's when you turn around or walk off trail or whatever.
Yep. Get off trail. Get on the road. Get out.
Because if you've ever done trail maintenance, and even if you haven't, because a lot of people haven't, have you ever done landscaping? Yeah. Okay. So imagine doing landscaping in a really remote area for 800 miles. It's a serious endeavor. Like caring for this trail resource takes $1.5 million a year. To be honest with you, that's what our operating budget is.
That's what the ATA's operating budget.
That's what our operating budget is as a whole, is about $1.5 million.
And where does all that funding come from?
People like us, members, donors give a pretty decent percentage of our income. Grants, do a lot of grant writing.
Okay.
Fundraising events, federal grants like Forest Service gives us some challenge cost share money as well. But a lot of my job is trying to figure out how do we pay for this thing, because everything we do is free. The trail is free. Our youth programs are free. All the resources that we develop and distribute, those are all free. So finding ways, creative ways to pay for that so that this resource kind of remains for all is the grand challenge of a nonprofit.
So how have you done year over year? Like, do you have years that are bad, years that are good? Like what's the
It's been steady decline. Yeah, it's been steady decline, both in the amount of miles that we can maintain, new miles that we can build, number of people that we get out there every year. So I've been doing it for 10 years.
That's because funding has been decreasing.
No, funding has been, I think, increasing. Yeah, because our organization has kind of built up our own capacity, with paid staff. Because some people
you're getting more efficient, effectively, is what you're saying. Okay.
Exactly right. Yep, and engaging more people and convincing more people that this is important. Like the state of Arizona gives $250,000 a year, not to us, but to the trail, as as funding to support young people going out there to work in areas that are beyond the reach of most volunteers.
Yeah.
And that's amazing for a state every year to pass legislation that says here's $250,000, pay people to keep this trail maintained because it's such an important resource.
Yeah. Okay. So you lost me for a second there.
Okay.
Take me back.
Yes.
You said it was decreasing year over year. What is
increasing? Increasing.
Okay.
Increasing.
Okay. So funding's increasing year over year. You're also getting more efficient, so you're able to spread every dollar more.
Yep.
Oh, that's outstanding. And everybody loves a trail. It's like ice cream. Maybe you should work with some ice cream companies too.
I like it. We've done beer and coffee and jerky and a nut mix and what else? Yeah, quite a few things, but ice cream hasn't been done yet.
Yeah, we should go talk to the guys at Screamery or something like that here in Tucson. They make good ice cream.
If you're listening and you're an ice cream manufacturer, let's talk.
Yeah, Ben and Jerry's, something like that. Let's go big. Let's get something that has a significant impact. Okay, so in addition to your work with the Arizona Trail, I noticed that you're an advisor to backpacking routes.
Yeah.
And routes spelled ROOTS.org.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So bikepacking routes started many years ago, 6 years ago, I think, just with a couple of individuals who loved developing bikepacking routes. ROUTES, right? Bikepacking routes.
Yep.
And, American Cycling Association, Adventure Cycling Association, I think it's called, and a number of others. People were developing these routes either as an organization or as individuals, but nobody was really doing it comprehensively and mapping it and verifying these routes and making sure there was places like water and you could legally ride there,
right,
and putting together printed guides, digital guides, and then also educating users about here's some things you should know about the landscape and the cultural history and all these things. But Kurt Refsnyder, who many of you know, like super, mountain bike,
Yep.
extraordinaire, and Kate Boyle, his once partner and now just, best friend and, adventure enthusiast who's, won just about every hardcore race you can imagine. The two of them, along with a few other advocates, myself and some others, helped kind of start this organization, Bike Packing Routes. And it's been around for a number of years now and is really kind of serving the needs of those of us who want to go for more than just a weekend ride, but we really want to get out and cover huge landscapes. And maybe we have a couple months to do it.
Right.
That's what Bike Packing Routes is.
I mean, is that something that you're into? Do you like to do that?
Someday when I don't have a job.
Oh, like Mike.
Correct. No, working for a nonprofit, I'll be working forever. So it's kind of like the trail. Like I had all these trail adventures until I got this job, and I'm a laptop pilot is what I do. I'm just flying the laptop every day and like managing lots of different things. I get out on the trail a few times a year, realistically, which is tragic and sad, but whatever, it's fine because I'm kind of taking one for the team and working on a resource now that everybody gets to use and benefit from. But one of these days, I do like the idea of going for a really long ride.
Wow. Do you do any bike packing at all?
No, I like a really long ride, and then I like a really warm shower and a really comfortable bed and a nice hot meal. So, actually, I had some back problems. I can't sleep on the ground.
Oh, there you go. So it makes it a little hard. Makes it a little hard to do. To do bike packing. So what do they do? So I mean, what is? You
should check it out. Check out bikepackingroutes.org.
Okay.
And one of the things that organization has done for me is it allows me to dream about these big long rides that I would like to do someday. And they've already been figured out. This is where you go. This is where you stay. And then you have the adventure and cover as many miles as you possibly can. But there's such beauty and simplicity in bike packing because you have to pack really light. So you only bring what you absolutely need. You cover huge miles. You eat a bunch of food and you're on your bike all day long.
Yeah.
And whether it's, for 3 or 4 day loops, like up in Northern Arizona, or, this new route that's been developed that, would take the average human probably 4 months to do, and really the entire length of the continent in some cases and down into Baja. And it's amazing.
So, okay. How much do you really ride a week?
Once a week if I'm lucky. Yeah.
Just once a week.
Yeah. Although this week is 3 times. So I'm trying to catch up to Mike Mucker. I have to prioritize it for sure.
Okay.
I solo dad half the time. I have a full-time job. I have a very active, kind of like music career and lots of hobbies and things that I do too. So I'm trying to find the balance in it all. Ideally, and once upon a time, I rode every day or at least 6 days a week.
Right.
But when I was younger,
like
Mike, exactly. And that's when I was, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of it. That's when I was happiest.
Yeah.
Is when I was on my bike every day. So although I can't do that, I do hold on to it as much as I can. And I try to get a couple in a week.
Yeah. I'm gonna challenge you to increase that.
Yes, please. That's a prescription.
And after we get off of this podcast, I'll tell you what I do for a living and what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
And how I've set bare minimum 5 hours a week I have to ride my bike. That's it. And I changed it. And I think it may have been you that I can't remember who told me because before I was a mileage.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I was cheating and going and jumping on the loop on Sunday night and getting a whole bunch of miles on the loop because I couldn't get the mountain miles in through the week. And they're like, no, you got to stop that. So now I do 5 hours a week. At a minimum, and with my job, it's crazy, but I feel way better.
Oh, absolutely.
The last 3 weeks I've been going crazy with these broken ribs, so I keep buying tools. And Mike just told me about another tool I have to get, the chain checker for the 12 speed.
Yeah.
There's no end to it. There's no end.
Yeah, everyone keeps asking me do you have all of their parts, all of Park Tools? And I'm like, no. And then Chris just introduced me to another bike tool company called Efficient Velo Tools, which is the next level above Park. So now I'm kind of diving into those tools. So I'll let you know.
As long as you work on my bike, I fully support.
I'm happy to I got nothing to do right now. So just bring it.
Broken ribs.
Yeah, broken ribs. I'm just sitting around. Hey brother, is there any final thoughts you have for our listeners?
I think we're the happiest version of ourselves when we're outdoors. So like you were just saying, prioritize getting out there. Get it in as often as you can. That nature immersion experience is where we're the happiest. And I think, when we fall in love with these resources, we're just better people. We're better, husbands, fathers, friends, workers, all of it. And I love the fact that we live in an area that has so many trails, not just the AZT, but Pima County trail system, stuff on the forest, stuff in neighborhoods. Like just today I rode out in the Enchanted Hills, in Tucson Mountains area. And I'm like, this is the nicest built trail and there's flowers blooming. Yeah. I will be riding that high from that ride for as many days as I need
kudos
to.
to Neil and his crew out there. Right? So we had Neil on. Yeah, they've done a good job out there.
So impressive.
For sure. Well, hey, I considering how busy you are, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I know our listeners will enjoy this. Thank you so much for the dedication you have to the Arizona Trail and for helping us all have this resource that we can use, and for the tens of thousands of people every year. Thanks for thinking of the folks out there in those dry stretches with the water collection. Thanks for doing that awesome thing down in Patagonia. I'm excited to go check out that and everything else. We'll put in the show notes the links to all your stuff, so folks know. Please get out there, check out the Arizona Trail, and donate. Mike, you got any final thoughts?
No, all I can say is I am honored that one of the most enthusiastic and positive thinking people that I've ever met is Matt Nelson, and he's also the Grand Poobah of the Arizona Trail. I think it's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, we're lucky to have you, brother.
It's an honor, a joy, a privilege. So thank you for having me.
Cheers.
See you on the trail.